Alright, so I'm going to do something a little different today, as I usually do when I do videos myself. But this to me is a very important video that if somebody would have done this before I went through all this BS, it would have helped me myself. And what I mean by this is um, how to properly trim your beard. And when I say that, I don't mean physically trimming it. I mean like step by step guide to make sure you get the look that you want. Um, there's probably thousands of videos out there of people being like, "Hey, you use this guard and you do this," and this is not what I'm trying to explain in this video. What I'm trying to explain in this video is, have you ever trimmed your beard and then, say for instance, you went out with some friends or went to a family event and they take some pictures of you and you see your beard and you're like, that doesn't look at all like what I see. Then this video is for you. Um, this to me comes from personal experience. Like I said, I've spent years trying to fix this, and like I said, if somebody would have made a video about this years ago that I could have saw, it would have changed my life then, instead of me having to learn out the hard way. Sorry, I'm outside and I've got bad allergies, but yeah. So what I mean by this is most people that trim their beard, and I'm guilty, of course, when they trim their beard, shave their beard, shape their beard. Did I just say shape the beard? I don't know, twice. That's, whatever. Doing one take. Um, but when they do all that, they generally do it in front of a mirror like this, and this is all they see. Okay, and what people seem to forget is what you see isn't what everybody else sees. Okay, so what ends up happening is they trim their beard like this, all up in the mirror, and they're like, "Oh, my beard looks good." And then they take pictures. Like I said, people take pictures of them, or these days TikTok or whatever videos, and they see like a side angle of their beard, and they're like, "Oh, that's not at all what I wanted." It's because you're not trimming your beard correctly. So, for instance, I have a very weak chin. I don't have a chin at all. Like there's none. So I have to grow my beard out to give me that effect. A lot of us do, especially like people with weak chins or weak jawlines. Growing out a beard will help that. But for years, what I actually did was I had just a goatee and I kept this long. Sorry. And then I shaved all of this on like a one or a two and then just kind of lined it up. And I thought in a mirror it looked great. Oh my God. Sorry. To me, it looked great. But then when I would see pictures of myself from the side, all you would see is this sticking out. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't get how or why that's happening because when I brush it down. So in my mind, it's a long goatee that's sticking straight down and I should be fine. Like, what's the issue? Well, years went by and I kept looking at pictures and stuff, and I started noticing the way my chin is. This hair right here doesn't grow down; it grows this way. So I don't know if you can tell, but it grows this way. So that led me to start looking at more of this type of beard type. So I started growing this out, which is another thing that I wish somebody would have told me. For years, I always trimmed this short because when I would get to like a 4 or 5 length, it would be patchy. And I know there's videos about that out there, but it would be patchy, and I would just be like, ugh, the hairs would start curling, and I just hated how it looked. If you get past that stage, the hairs start laying down, and it starts covering up the patchiness. Also, train the hairs. You got to use a boar's hair bristle brush. Beard products help a lot. Oil, butter, balm, whatever you. Balm is a big one. Use oil, but balm is basically like a bearded gentleman's glue. You put some oil in there after you wet your beard or dampen your beard. Put some oil in. The oil is for the skin under the beard. And then you take some balm, melt it. And then what I like to do is just kind of flatten everything out and kind of train it. And then it lays down. But what I started doing after I noticed that my beard wasn't looking the way I wanted it to in pictures, what I would do is when I would do a beard trim, I would put my phone, like I'm doing right now, on a tripod. This is going to sound stupid, but it helps a lot. Put your phone on a tripod. Most people have one. Or if you don't have a tripod, stick it on like a shelf or something that's the same height as your head. Oh, look, a car. Anyway, stick your phone. Oh, God, this pollen sucks. Stick your phone at head level in some good lighting. And this is going to be stupid, but go away from your phone about 5 feet. Back up. And then just kind of like pretend you're having a conversation. And in this conversation, just kind of tilt your head in different directions. So just kind of do like this, and do it slowly. Don't do it fast. Don't pick your nose. My nose itches. But, kind of do this. And then after you've went around a good bit, get like about another 1.5 feet, 2 foot closer. And do the same thing and keep repeating. Then go back, watch that footage, and then use in your mind mentally and say what I need to change. So what I usually take that time to do is say, like, for instance, this right here. A lot of people like to cut this straight. I don't. I personally, if you have it, because everybody's beard's different, but I like that curve. But I noticed in the videos that I would do of myself like that when this part would get bushy, it would bush out this way. So then you take that time to brush that hair back and take your trimmer and kind of clip it and then brush it back down, and it's perfect. But little things like that, or like I said, my chin hair grows this way, not this way. So then I had to start growing my beard this way, and now it looks a million times better than what I was trying to do the entire first original time. But and then, like, for instance, trimming your beard. Again, there's millions of videos out there, I'm sure, of people doing it. But start trimming your beard down, not up. What I've seen a lot of people do is when they're trying to get a lot of length, they'll get like a wall trimmer, put a guard on it, and go up. When you go up, you're taking off length. You need to go down with the guard. The teeth are here, so go down with it, not up. Because when you go up, like I said, you're taking out a chunk. See, I've got quite a bit of hair in there. It just is tight and neat. You go down with it, and it just takes off the top layer, like the bulk. It doesn't take off the length. Like right now, I think mine is somewhere around a 6 or a 7 guard. So yeah, it's pretty long. It's just trimming it correctly. Fading is another thing that'll help you. But you just, again, that's a different video. Learn that from the other videos of people showing it. But I've just seen a lot of people go up with it. And they're like, my beard doesn't look like other people's beard. It's not going to. You didn't do it correctly. And fade, like I said, fade like right here. What a lot of people do is that mustache line going down. They'll do a straight line with the guard. So they'll, like I used to do it when I had a goatee. And they'll go up that line. And what you're doing is you're creating a fake line right there, and it's not going to blend in. What you actually want to do is when you're going down with the guard, I usually use my mustache and go in the middle of my mustache and go down. And if you notice, I'm not going, with my face. I'm going straight. So, and what that'll do is that'll just trim off the top of the hairs, going straight down right here, and that'll blend that in to where you'll get that look that you've been trying to get. And another thing I've noticed people try so hard to do is like this boxiness right here. people try to create that. And again, people have different beard types, like Grim that does the videos with me. Uh his beard is more straight and thick, and you don't really have to do that with his beard. Um oh no, sorry. You actually have to do that with his beard to get it boxy, because it's so straight that if it gets past a certain length, it just kind of hangs and looks scraggly. So then you got to trim those off. Me, I have a very coarse, thick, very curly beard. So what I literally do is after I do the trim all the way down, that naturally happens. I don't physically take the trimmer and go with the line. That's there once I've done my trim. So what I would say to you is, if you're looking for this type of beard, uh, trim it. Like I said, watch a bunch of videos, and basically, if you want help in this video, me personally, what I do right now is, I've got a new trimmer. I got the new Brio, and their guards are different. So if you've got a Brio, I'm going by the size of guards that you would usually use with a wall. And what I mean by that is, when you get a Brio, it comes with a little card, because the Brio guards aren't the same as everybody else's. So like a 3 in a Brio is actually a 1.5 in a wall. And that's why I have no mustache currently, because when I got the Brio, I was like, I need to trim my mustache. And I usually trim my mustache on a 3 with a wall trimmer, not knowing that a 3 in a Brio is a 1.5 in a wall trimmer. So it took off my mustache. But, so find out your guards. I usually go with wall, but if you got the Brio, it has the card. Um, but I'm gonna give you the measurements in wall, just because if you have a Brio, they'll tell you what to use. For a while, I would go 7 down. Um, and what I basically do is, from right here to like the back of my neck, I would go completely straight down. Not go in, but like go straight down, because you want this tight. And then as I get closer, and like I said, right here in the middle of the mustache, go and then stop, and then do the same on the other side. Then I would put on a 6, so one guard down, and I would go and kind of fade it, and I would go no lower than right here with the 6. So, and as you're getting toward the bottom, go out with it. Don't go. Same thing with right here. And then if I notice that this was giving me issue, which a lot of times it'll do, I'll go to a 4, skip the 5 completely, go to a 4, and from here to about right here, I'll go on the 4 and just kind of fade that out right here again, going outward as you get to this part. And that'll taper that up. And then, like I said, if you're having issues with this right here, brush it all that way. Take your hand and do this. And then just, what I like to do is, a lot of people will mess up and do this way. When they do that, they'll try to go with the line. That's not what you want to do, because if you do that, you will mess up and trim your actual beard. What you want to do is, you want to go basically what it looks like to me when I'm doing it is, I'm trimming my ear. Okay, put the wall or the trimmer on the 0 guard if you got a 0 guard. If not, whatever it has is fine. But again, brush the hairs this way so they're all over your ear. Pull your skin tight, and then basically go through here and just kind of go. And it'll look to you like you're trimming your ear, but you can, I mean, it's right at your ear, so you'll hear the hair cutting. Because what you're actually trying to do is, you're not trying to get it close to this with hairs like that. You're just trying to trim off the tops of those hairs that are so curly and long that are doing this. So when you brush this back, you'll get this natural line. And then if you do, for whatever reason, want a straight line right here, I recommend getting someone to help you. I've never personally been able to get a straight line by myself. There is a mirror that you can buy I think it's called the self-cut system. Okay then. Self-cut system, which is basically a mirror here and then two mirrors or one mirror on each side here, and it folds in and it has lights and you can hang it on a wall or a door. So when you get close to it, you can see all the angles. Then you could do it yourself. Sorry, allergies. And then another thing that is helpful to me is when you start having scraggly hairs, like go all over the place, unless you're trying to get more length and you're trying to get past that weird phase, trim them shorter. And what I mean by that is, for instance, right here, these hairs on me, when it gets past a 4 guard on a wall, they start doing this. Especially this side right here will go do this. And it's just because I'll sleep on this side, so the pillow kind of goes like that, and it makes the hairs go that way. And what bugs me a lot of times with people's beards is if you're at the length you're at, trim that shit. It'll look so much better. Yes, I said that apparently. Trim it. Because it just looks stupid. And again, if you're trying to get it a certain length, that's fine. But everybody's beard's different. Like for instance, Grimm's lays down. If his gets past like a 5 or 6, he'll just start doing this. Because he's one of those lucky people that all this grows in. If it gets past a 5 or 6, it'll start do this. So I cut his on a 4 straight down. Again, same way you do on the sides. Did 4 guard and just go. And it'll trim off those little scraggly things. And then it'll lay down, which it might not be now because I've been messing with it, but it'll lay down and it'll, from far away, visually to everybody else, it'll look right. Like up close, I hate doing it because to me, it's too thin. It's way thinner than I would like it to be. But from far away in pictures to everybody else, it looks the way I would like. I'm not sure if this video is actually helpful to anybody, but these are just little tips that I've personally found out over. Oh, another one before I forget. People trying to grow a beard. Don't go up here and shave your neckline. Trim it like down here. You might say, well, I don't want a beard that long. That's where mine's at. And look, if you don't have that depth back here, it's going to look like crap. You'll need it to connect, okay? If you're trying to grow a long beard, don't trim it at all. Just let it do its thing. Again, brush it. Every time you get out of the shower, brush it. Every time it's wet, brush it. Brush it in the direction you want it to grow. So, like for this instance, brush down. This brush down. This is basic common knowledge, I would assume, but yeah, train your hairs. I'm so sick and tired of seeing people with like long beards that just don't do anything to them. And I get if that's your thing, that's your thing. You do you. But if you're actually caring about what your beard looks like, then trim it. And another thing that you can do too as well is if you're scared to trim it and you don't know if you went too far or if you're where you need to be, do the camera trick. The trick I told you where you take a video and you just keep looking. Start with the biggest guard you have. Like I said, I recommend if you don't have anything, start with a decent wall. A wall for your hair, not your beard. The reason being is because you can get a decent one for not a lot of money. The actual blade on them is wide, which is something you need. Most cheap beard trimmers are about this wide, and that's not going to help you. You're going to be screwed. But they're mostly wide. They come with a lot of big guards because, they're for cutting hair, not beards. And that's the easiest way to start out. Then once you get a hang of what you know and like, then go to like something like a Brio because it's made similar to a hair trimmer. But yeah, get a decent made wall. I'm trying to think. Yeah, decent made wall. Wall's what I've always used. Wall Andes or Andes or whatever it's called. But start with the biggest guard. The one I used up until I got the Brio, I don't even remember if it was a wall, but every Walmart sells them. It's the corded one with all the guards. It's big and yellow with gray grips. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but if you go to Walmart and look in their trimmers, you'll see it because it's big and yellow with gray grips. But it's got a crap ton of guards. I think it's got a bag too. Comes with a beard brush, which don't use the beard brush. It comes with its garbage, comb, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, start off with a wall with a bunch of guards. Make sure the guards go up at least until at 8, because that was what helped me. Um, and just start at the biggest guard. If you've got a long beard, then what I would recommend is just go straight down with the beard. Don't go, common sense, because I'm going for this look. So I'm going right here, and then I don't really ever have to trim this. The only thing I have to trim is this part, and I just kind of take the ends off when I do a beard trim. But start with the largest guard and go down, and then brush it with your beard brush, and just kind of do the video and say, is that the length I want? Do I want it that bushy? Do I want it more close to my face? I like it close to my face. And then if you're like, okay, it's not what I like, go to the next guard and do the same thing. And then whatever guards you decide on, as far as the first guard, then like I said, go down to the next guard and do from here up and kind of blend it. And what will happen is it'll naturally get you kind of this thing, if that makes any sense at all. And what that means is this hair here is going to be longer and thicker than this hair here. Now, if you want that type of look, then just go with the guard that you were going to use, and then you're good. But I don't know if this even is helpful. Like I said, this is stuff that I've learned over the years that I feel like if somebody would have sat in front of me and said, do this, it would have saved me a lot of time and heartache, because there was so many years where I sat in front of a mirror and cut my beard, and then just, I didn't cry, but on the inside you were crying like, I don't like how this looks. And then you gotta wait on it to grow back, and then hope and pray to God that you don't mess it up again. So again, if this is helpful to you, let me know. Comment something. Talk to me. If not, give me some tips. Whatever. I don't care. But yeah, this is something that I've just noticed. Even back when I used to cut my own hair, I would do the same thing. I would cut it and then look in the mirror and be like, oh, it looks great. And then go see pictures people take of me. And I'm like, especially the off guard photos, the ones where you're like at a weird angle and you're like, that's what I look like. Stuff like that. So again, look in the video from far away. Just kind of chat to yourself and then watch it back. Because what people's visual of you is completely different than your visual of you in the mirror doing this. Just like lighting out in the world and in grocery stores and stuff is different than your lighting in your house. Like for instance, at home, this looks super thick and covered. Oh God. Out in the world in the sun, and like where I'm at right now, if you'd see this in the sun, this looks thin and patchy. It's all a learning curve. Oh God, my nose itches. Sorry. So if that's an issue for you, go to the next guard. Let your beard grow back out. Go one guard up. That's what I've learned. Because I originally started out on a 5 or a 6. Because I wanted it tight and neat. Yeah, 5 is where I started. And I didn't like it. And then I went up to a 6. And now I'm up to a 7. Yeah. It's just all about figuring out what you like. Trial and error. It'll grow back. But it'll take time. And again, beard oil, beard balm, beard butter. If you're training your beard, beard balm is what you need. Of course, you need beard oil. That's a guarantee. Boar's hair bristle brush. good detangling brush. Nobody ever told me this, but a good detangling brush. Go to the chicks hairbrush section in Walmart and get you. I like the minis, the ones that are about this big. But a detangler brush, the ones with the tines that have the little round balls on them, just because they won't irritate your face or your hairs, but they'll help. Because when I first started out, everybody's like, use a wooden beard comb. My hair is too coarse and thick to use a wooden hair comb. Every time I would do it, I would pull out chunks. Oh, another tip that I learned that no one told me. When brushing your beard, don't just brush it down and then go about your day. Uh, Brush it up and then down. So anytime you put oil in, beard balm, beard butter, get out the shower, wet your beard, anything, when you're styling your beard, brush it up and then back down. Because what I originally had in the beginning um, was right under here. I would always just brush down, and that was it. But all the hairs that I had under here were getting knotted up and twisted, and it's kind of bunched up under my neck. So I was losing a lot of thickness here. And I'm like, well, how do I fix that? Because I'll brush it down. I go all the way back, but I brush it down. No, what you do is you take your detangler brush and you brush your hairs all the way up. All the way up. Everything. So your beard looks like that, Then brush it all the way back down. And you do that every time you style your beard. And I started doing that, and now these hairs are just as straight as these hairs. Again, hope this video helps. Sorry that it was so long, but it's a lot of information that I wish I knew. So hope this helps somebody, and I hope y'all have a great day. Peace out, my Fagels.